Hello, you're welcome back. My name is Harrison and I'm still treating latitudes and longitudes. On the board, I have a question. K 60 degrees north, 50 degrees west is a point on the Earth's surface. L is another point due east of K. And the third point N is due south of K. The distance KL is 3520 kilometers and KN is 10951 kilometers. We have to calculate A, the longitude of L, B, the latitude of N. And then we have to take pi to be 22/7. And then R, that's the radius of the Earth, to be 6,400 kilometers. So we start. We locate the first point, which is K, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, north and west. So let's locate first the north. And then west. Okay, so this is the point. We call this K, point K. Then the other point L is another point due east of K. That means to the right. We may put it here, but we will know the particular position after calculating the angular difference. So we have this. We assume that this is our L. Then the distance is along latitude. But we were also told that there's another point, N, and that is at this due south of K. So let's pick this as our point N. In other words, we are talking of distance along longitude for the second one. So we have located the points. Now let us try and figure out the longitude and the latitude. Okay, now arc LK is theta, let's call it theta 1 over 360 times 2 pi small r. And then remember, we already know LK. Therefore, and what's the distance? We were told that KL is 3520. 3520 is equal to theta 1 all over 360 times, remember that our pi is going to be 22/7. 2 times 22/7, then multiplied by 6400 cos 60. So coming back, we have, therefore, 3520 is equal to theta 1 times 2 times 22/7. This is over 360 multiplied by 6400 multiply by, then we look for cos. We look for cos 60. So if we check from our table, that will give us 0.5. That's cos 60. And then it means that you have to multiply this, and this, and then equate it. So that will be 3520 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 7. That is this times this times this equal to theta 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 6400 multiplied by 0.5. And then for us to find theta 1, we have to use the rest to divide this. So in order to do that, we have we can say that theta 1 is equal to 3520 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 7. We are dividing by 2 times 22 multiplied by 6400 multiplied by 0.5. And then if you carry out the division, that we, first of all, if you multiply out, we are going to end up with 8870 8870 8870 400 divided by 140800 140800. Okay, so if you carry out the division, then from here you come up so from here we now come up to have the division now will be, that means you are saying now that theta 1 is equal to, you divide this, we can bring it here, which is equal to 63 degrees. Therefore, theta 1 is equal to 63 degrees. And that is the angular difference. But since L is due east of K, remember, if you leave L, sorry, if you are leaving K to L, that is due east, the longitude will continue to decrease until you get to 0, and then it will continue to increase towards the east until you get to 180 degrees east. So what you are going to do is to subtract this value from the longitude here. If we end up with positive value, it means it's still at the western part. But if we end up with negative, it means that it has crossed to the eastern part. That is how to check. Again, if you are moving from K to L, so since we have gotten 63, you have to subtract this value from the particular longitude here in order to get the particular longitude you have in the other part. So if the answer is positive, it means we are still having the longitude at the western part. But if it is negative, it means it has crossed to the eastern part. So let's watch and see. Now, the longitude here is 50 degrees. So we are now going to have 50 degrees minus 63 degrees. And definitely this will give us minus 13 degrees. And that means that longitude of, because we have to find the longitude of L, therefore longitude of L is equal to 13 degrees east. And that is the answer to that. So that is the answer to that. That means we are finished, and we have discovered that the longitude of L is 13 at 13 degrees east. That is this longitude. Now we go over to find the latitude of N. Okay, so to continue, let us take it that arc Kn is equal to theta 2 all over 360 times 2 pi capital R. Capital R because we are talking of radius from the big center. So this is R and this is R. Why this one is small r? Okay, so that, and remember we already know Kn. So that means that picking the value, we have 10951 kilometers is equal to theta 2 over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7 times 6400. And that means we have 10951 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 7 is equal to theta 2 times 2 times 22 times 6400. So if we carry out the multiplication, we are going to have that will be we have theta 2 equal to 10951 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 7. We are dividing. Let me just leave here and come up. Okay, so we are saying that theta 2 is equal to 10951 multiplied by 360 multiplied by 7. We are dividing it by 2 times 22 multiplied by 6400. So if we do that, that will give us 2, you multiply it out, that will give us 27596 520. We are dividing by 281. 281,600. Okay. So moving on, we have to clean off some. Okay. So if you divide, you are going to get therefore theta 2 is equal to 97.99 degrees, approximately equal to 98 degrees. That means the angular difference is 98 degrees. So now we have to check, because we are calculating the latitude of N, this particular latitude. And how do we get it? Since we said this at the southern part of K, again, we have to subtract this from the latitude here. If the answer is positive, it means it's still at the northern part. But if the answer is negative, it means it has gone down to the southern part. So let us do that and see. We go back and check. Remember that the latitude of K is 60 degrees north. So we have to subtract 98 from 60. And that means that we have 60 latitude of N should be equal to 60 degrees minus 98 degrees. And that will give us minus 38. Therefore, latitude of N equal to 38 degrees south. So it's no more at the northern part. It's no more at the northern part, because this negative shows that it has crossed over to the other part. Because remember, if you are coming down, the latitude will continue to decrease until you get to 0. It will continue to increase downwards until you get to 90 degrees south. So as I said earlier, the latitude goes from 0 to 90 degrees north or south, while longitude goes from 0 degree to 180 degrees east or west. So we have finally come to the end of the question, and then please, I would like you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And please, if there's any question, you put it in the comment section, so that in my next video, I will look at it and find solution to it. From the next lesson, it's likely I'll pick another topic and continue from there. Thank you.